Good afternoon. Juvenile crime is a cry for help, not punishment. My name is Augusta Hollins, and my audience for today is Kimberly, Janet, Jawan, Antonio, and Xavier. Juvenile crime is a cry for help, not punishment. There are roughly 75 million juveniles in the United States. The juvenile violent crime rate index dropped for the second consecutive year and is now 5% lower. Juveniles were the offenders in 908 cases of murder, which constitutes 9% of all murders. Many factors can play a role in a juvenile developing into a delinquent, such as behavior, mental characteristics, family structure, peer influence, and neighborhood. Developing properly, socially, and mentally is extremely important in a child's developmental stage. Behavioral problems in the children are normal. Behavioral problems in children decrease the older they get. If the behavioral problem persists with age, there has been a problem mentally, physically, or emotionally. Insufficient education, substance abuse, and lack of strong moral guidance has also been discovered to play a part in juvenile delinquency. Data has shown a strong correlation between undereducated children and juvenile crime. Failure at school is a factor for predicting criminal behavior. A 25-year-old study of 1,500 children in low-income inner-city Chicago neighborhood found that children who attended a high-quality preschool were 28% less likely to develop drug problems or be incarcerated in childhood. A student's probability of committing crime is greater if the child has poor academic performance, poor attendance, face expulsion, or drop out of school. Jamie, a man who was incarcerated as a juvenile, spoke out on how juvenile delinquency is an actual cry for help. He speaks on gang activity and how kids who don't have parents end up being pulled into the life of a gang, accepting them as the family they never had. He states that it's easy to see that the way the justice system deals with juveniles only makes them full-fledged criminals. Once they are released from prison, they don't know how to live normally. Juveniles are a part of the same system as adult criminals, which means these juveniles get no rehabilitation. Without rehabilitation, they become lost in society. They no longer know how to live in the world outside of prison. Prison becomes only home they know. The justice system should consider dealing with juveniles in a different way that would not make them into hardened criminals. Treating delinquent juveniles as adult offenders will only make the problem worse and cause the retention rates to become higher. Without providing the juveniles with rehabilitation, they will end up in the same environment around the same people and more likely reoffend. The people they choose to surround themselves with are people that they feel care about them. The law isn't set up to be beneficial to delinquents. Juvenile courts are not allowed to consider why the child is there before them. They only focus on the offense. Some juveniles go against what their parents try to provide for them, while others are born into a life that made them move towards a life of crime because that's all they know. When a child is raised in and around constant violence, violence becomes all they know. Now it becomes a lifestyle. Now let's discuss the factors. Want to fit in and be accepted is one thing that many adolescents yearn for. In a recent survey of nearly 1,000 teenagers, only 10% said that they had not been influenced by peer pressure. In many societies, predominantly inner city areas, gang activity is high and many teens become involved in it. Drug and other criminal activity can be greatly influenced by peer pressure. When deviant behavior committed by one adolescent is transferred to others. The New York City Police Department developed a unique force outreach program that tracks at-risk teens and separates them from negativity of gang influence. Edward Sutherland's differential association theory says that individuals are more likely to choose the criminal path when the majority of the people around them influence their behavior. Substance abuse affects cognitive development, which which could cause the teens to not have the ability to assess risk. It is a very powerful contributor when combined with the other factors that contribute to criminal behavior. Now that we know the factors that can contribute to developing juvenile delinquency, let's discuss ways to help at-risk youth. Everyone will be affected by juvenile delinquency. Parents, neighborhoods, teachers, families, the victims, the perpetrators, and the bystanders are all affected by it. The juvenile delinquency rates have been decreasing, but they still remain too high. There are programs and intervention methods that can help these youth. Prevention programs are set up to have a positive effect on the children and everyone in the community because they aim to stop the crimes from ever happening. Our youth are our future. How can the system charge a 13 or 14-year-old as an adult for minor crime? They need to be taught a purpose for life, not throw them in a jail cell every time they do something wrong for a minor crime. Most do not even have family members that show them that they care, so they get caught up in doing wrong things. Juvenile crime needs help. Our children, juvenile crime needs help. Help our children and let them lead the way. My visual aids for today are handcuffs and a hat and a diploma. The handcuffs, obviously, we don't want our children to end up in them. To graduate high school and college is what our plans should be for our future children. Thank you.